The United States government shutdown was lifted today. Close to 800,000 federal workers returned after a 35-day-long shutdown. And that shutdown has cost the U.S. GDP close to $11 billion. What has it cost the American president? His image, for sure. Donald Trump has been facing a number of questions. His opponents for the next elections have now begun announcing their candidature, and Trump is losing the latest poll as well. Only 35% of those surveyed expressed confidence in Trump to make the right decisions for the country's future. 64% don't trust him. The new poll measures Trump's standing across 10 major issues. It indicates that the president has largely underperformed in terms of even the most modest expectations that Americans had from him. The president scored under 35% on multiple of those counts. For instance, he scored a 33% of votes on women's issues, budget deficit and healthcare as well. A 57% majority rated Trump negatively for his handling of border security, the signature issue on which he began his campaign. And that is similar to the 54% who oppose building a wall, which he insists is necessary. Now, the only silver lining for Donald Trump here is that his opponents have not fared well either. The survey shows that only 34% Americans have faith in Democrats to make the right decisions.
Some people call it an invasion.
Nina Maria Potts, our correspondent, joining us live from Washington, D.C. Nina, let's first speak of the border security issue on which Donald Trump had been waging that battle at the cost of American economy, at the cost of multiple livelihoods across the country. Those numbers are interesting, but what or part of those trends and figures are you most surprised by?
Well, I mean, if we separate it out, this latest survey comes from the Washington Post and ABC News, and it's a review of the last 2 years, the first 2 years, rather, of his presidency. And overall, he is deemed by most Americans to have underperformed. This particular survey was completed before he ended the shutdown, the longest shutdown in U.S. history, and it focused on 10 issues, major issues, and his overall standing with Americans. And the breakdown is very striking. If you look at the U.S. economy, in 2017, he had a 69% approval rating among Americans. That is now down today to 49%. On healthcare, you mentioned, that has also taken a hit. It was at 44% back in 2017 and about 10 percentage point degrees lower today. So this was an overall look. Clearly, the capitulation and the caving in to the Democrats, to the House Democrats, over the shutdown and his inability to get them to give him the funding that he needs for his border wall with Mexico has really sort of dealt him a blow. But this particular survey shows that Americans, even with modest expectations, have been disappointed by the president's performance, although it's worth saying that they're not showing much optimism in the potential for a Democratic president doing any better.
Right, and Nina, a lot of uncertainty as far as the State of the Union address is concerned as well. What are your sources telling you on the possibility of that address still standing cancelled?
There's talk of the State of the Union still going ahead on February the 5th. As you know, it was cancelled or postponed, rather, because of the U.S. shutdown. You cited an extraordinary figure. $11 billion are thought to have gone essentially missing from the U.S. economy because of the government shutdown, which, as we've said, was the longest in history. But what's striking about that is that $3 billion US have disappeared permanently from the U.S. economy. Now, a lot of Americans are showing optimism that President Trump will be able to do something about the economy over the next 2 years. And if he manages to do something about jobs and keep unemployment rates down, then we may see his standing increase and his approval ratings go up. However, that is a major blow to the U.S. economy. And what isn't really factored in is how much laboratory research, office work, federal agency work has basically been stopped in its tracks. And it's extremely difficult to recover that data, that research. Daily operations are deemed to have stalled, and a lot of that work is now lost or gone forever.